YouTube, and welcome to another drawing. Today I'm going to be drawing Batman, and you can see I'm just working on his Batarang, going around the edges, adding a little bit of details to his fist, his knuckles, then his forearm, just going around, putting on the different levels of his armour. And I'll move on to his head and his pointy bat ears and his jaw, a little bit of his nose, finish off his bat ear, do a little bit of shading. This is a bit of comfort. Move down to the bottom part, his left shoulder and his cape, and then onto the kind of claw things on his forearm, adding some extra bits to his armoured forearm. Just going in little bits of detail, Back to the face, a little bit of facial features. And onto his bicep and his cape. Back to his face again, just like piecing it out for the shaded and the unshaded parts. And his pectoral muscles, some kind of strap that's on his arm, a little bit of shading on his bicep. The like little line bits where his bicep meets, and then onto his, I'm going to say it's his left fist, yeah, it's left fist. Going around, adding in the finger parts, little bits of plating that's on his knuckles and this middle section of his fingers. Working out from the picture where I need to draw. Sharpening my pencil quickly, continuing, shading in the bits that I don't need to draw, and onto his abs, a little bit of shading there, a little bit on his elbow, back up onto his biceps. I didn't actually like the way that I shaded it at first. I'm just putting on the like mesh-like effect to his bicep and a little bit to his hand, giving his Batarang a little bit more detail. I've effectively finished his right hand. I'm moving on to the cape, putting in the sections where I need to shade and where I need to leave it. And going on to his mouth. His mouth's kind of a weird shape. Moving on to the eyes. They can't actually see his eyes very well in the actual picture, so I just kind of drew them in, and then I'm going to shade over them later so they can kind of be seen but not quite, and then shading on his abs. Shading on his cape. Sorry about the little change, had to change the SD card, so ran out of battery. Not battery, space. Going over and shading it again a bit more, making it darker, building up the levels. Shading this cape there under his chin. And on his left shoulder, to us it's right. And I'm coming around with a pen, going around the edges, giving it a more defined look so you can see where the body parts end. That was Batarang. And onto the weird claws on his forearm. And just going around his bicep with the pen, going over the lines that I've already drawn, so they look more defined. It's kind of messy, but that's how it is. Going onto his left fist, which to us is our right. Going over the details, and onto his abs and his pecs. He doesn't actually have 6 abs, 2 of them are his pecs. At the moment his arm looks a bit weird and out of place because I haven't added the pen to the left side of his cape. Just going around all those parts, doing his mouth. His mouth looks kind of weird at the moment. If you look at the original picture on Google, which I'll leave the link in the description, his face doesn't actually look like that. Yeah, it's a lot more. He has like kind of like holes in his face, kind of like from, I don't know, it's like little spots all over his face. Shifting in the parts of the cape that needs to be black. Didn't have a black pen that I could use, otherwise it'd probably give it a nicer finish. Because as you'll see in a minute, I had to press down so hard that you can't even see his face anymore because the graphite of the pencil is just reflecting. You can still see it, kind of see his eyes, back over his pectoral muscles, and his helmet. And the creases in his face, just making him look more angry. There we go. I'll come back to the arm, go over a few little details where I don't think the pen was quite thick enough. Back down to his left hand, doing the shading of the batarang on his arm and all the little bits of shading onto his fist, and the kind of sharp edges of the underside of the batarang, and then back to his abs. The black pen to give him a more defined look. Any parts that I missed before this pen. Sharpening my 2B pencil, the one that I used to shade. Again, I don't have many pencils. Need to buy some more. A dog decided he'd want to eat them, so I am actually drawing this from upside down, so that's why it's not so perfect. So it's kind of hard to draw upside down. Little bits of shading on his forearm and then back to a little bit more on the cape. And he gets some kind of lamp to put over the top, so it doesn't like go shiny like it is when my hand isn't there to block out the light. Not finishing off his face. The shading. Looking really good at this point. Going over his hand with a little bit more shading. His bottom, his left hand, which is the right one, doesn't look that good. I forgot to add in the blood, and I'll just come back to that. And here it is, finished. Blood around his nose. Let's do a close up. It gets rid of that shininess as well if I hold up close up to the camera. There we go. I really like the blood under his nose, that's good. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed this this video, and here's the actual picture of what I drew it from. And yeah, leave a like, comment on my video, and most importantly, subscribe.